on the morning wake up with Sarah and beyond this morning. Before we get into this chat, can I just say that some of the topics that we're going to cover this morning around suicide prevention are sensitive, so we're just giving you a heads up around that. Joining us this morning in studio is Loma and Chris, who are from the production When It's All Over, Will They Remember Me? It's showing at the Logan Campbell Centre this coming Saturday, and the boys are in studio to join us and have a chat about it. Good morning, Talofa Loma.
Good morning.
Good morning, Chris. Good morning.
To be here.
Thanks for joining us this morning. Now, I was just trying to tell Bjorn off here that our paths haven't crossed in the island circles, although we were actually doing very similar things back in, 2016, 2015. I don't know, when I was working alongside a very, very close friend of mine, Paul Mangasiva. And your background is comedy online, right?
Yeah.
You went under the name Momea Chokes. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, so before we get to this, because it's called When It's All Over, Will They Remember Me? Is that from when you were highlighting and doing all your stuff as a comedian online to where you find yourself over the last few years?
Yeah. Well, the title of this drama production, Will They Remember Me, came from a time when, I remember doing all the shows and, being on stages and being in front of thousands of people, and then just, coming back home and just feeling empty, just feeling like, man, is this, after all of this, is this even going to mean anything? Like, in the end, I just still felt empty. It didn't matter what I did and what I was a part of, whether it was a successful around the world, I still felt empty. And I used to think, man, would people still, yeah.
Is that where it was born?
Yeah, that's where that came from.
When was that? What year was that?
2018, I started to feel like that, but yeah.
That's a long time ago.
2019 was the year that I hit rock bottom.
So this production obviously dealing with some pretty heavy topics. I think probably, I know for myself, I know people that have taken their own life, and I think for most people in New Zealand, I would assume they're probably not too many steps removed from someone in their close circle or someone that they know or a family member that's been through a similar thing. So it's an issue that New Zealand has a big problem with, right? With some really high rates of suicide in New Zealand. So to tackle something like that and put it into a production is it's a delicate subject, right? And to try and do a story around that, knowing that everyone in the audience is probably connected to this in some way, it's a really hard thing to try and put down, right? Or try and write. Where did the story kind of come from? Is this your story?
Yeah, so it's that's what I was so passionate about, is because we've lived it, like myself and Chris, we've both gone through this journey of suicide, and having these thoughts of wanting to take our own lives, and we're so passionate about it. We know what it's like to feel empty and broken, and just feeling like the weight of the world, and just looking for the answer. Yeah, just wanting to give up on life. And so this drama production is true. It's true stories. It's real life stories of myself and a few others, including Chris himself. It's raw. It's our stories on stage.
Sounds like it's really raw. Can we just go back to when, you were doing your thing, traveling and all that sort of stuff, and then you come back to, you said you come back home and it just felt empty. What was it was it the limelight that you missed, or was it people weren't around you, or what was it that made you have some thoughts that this isn't good for me?
So, what people see on social media, we always show the good side. But for me, there was always the other side that people didn't see. Even though I was traveling and doing a lot of things, and people were like, man, you're traveling, you're doing whatnot. The thing that was failing was my marriage. I wasn't there for my kids. I was being unfaithful to my wife, and like all these things that I was just living a life of sin. It was bad. It was really bad. It changed me. The life of fame, going around and just it was no good. It changed who I was, and I knew that it was affecting me, but I just couldn't get out of it. And so people could be around me. I could be around a lot of people. People could be spoiling me. I could be treated royalty, but I still felt lost. And that's because of the life that I was living.
Wow. We'll bring you in, Chris, in just a second. But I know you're a man of faith. That must have had something to do with you coming out of where you were at.
Yeah, well, it wasn't until I hit rock bottom, and it was actually a suicide drama that I was invited to.
Oh,
Yeah, I didn't know it was a church at the time. My sister just got the invite from one of the sisters in the church, and my sister didn't know how to help her older brother, and she just said, "Do you want to go to this drama?" And I said, "Oh, what is it?" And she said, "It's a suicide prevention drama." I'm like, okay. So I went and checked it out, and my life changed that night.
wow. Chris, let's bring you into this conversation.
Yeah.
So you're a pastor,
Yeah,
and you're part of the production.
I'm part of the production. I pastor in Potter's House Manurewa. But this production that I'm doing is from Potter's House Central. Our pastor, Pastor Dan Stephan, he felt stirred 2019 to do the first suicide awareness drama, and that's when Loma came out. And so when we put it on, we had no idea who was going to come out to it, but we just wanted to do something about what you spoke about earlier, Bjorn.
Yeah.
Like the suicide rate that we have in New Zealand, and we just wanted to do something. At that time, we were only like a church of 50, and we just wanted to pretty much reach out to people. And then Loma walked through the doors and came out and heard the story, and man, changed his life.
Did you two know each other before you came
No.
into the? Oh, wow.
So
After that production that you saw, did you approach Chris and talk about it? No?
there was a bit
A little
of a
bit
gap.
late on, little gap there.
There was a little
Oh,
gap
okay.
there, yeah.
Yeah.
But we gave time for Loma to just keep coming back as much as he wanted to.
Yeah.
And then I think after 6 months he came back in Jan, and when I prayed for Loma at the altar, man, just felt a massive weight released when we prayed. And then after that he just made a massive commitment to the church, and that's how we're able to sort of put his life on display through this drama. And we're seeing so many people saved through it, and just through his life and just this journey and decision.
Yeah,
That's
Chris prayed for me at the altar when I finally came back and just fully just surrendered.
Yeah.
It was Chris, and I'll never forget that moment. And Chris has followed up on me ever since.
That's outstanding. Well, now that we've got the backstory out the way, would you mind hanging out for a second so we can talk about the production?
do it.
See what's going on. So we'll catch up with Loma and Chris a little bit more right after Katie Hurst. Again, there are services available throughout New Zealand if you find this conversation a little bit triggering or you need some support. Please search them out. Lifeline is available 24/7. This is Katie Hurst here at Life. This is a good thing here on the morning wake up this morning. We've got a couple of good things in studio with us as well. Talking about Loma, Losefa, and Chris. Chris, what's your surname, bro?
Ofanoa.
Okay, we just got Chris on the. No, that's Loma's fault. Actually, no,
just
you
Chris.
know what? That's Loma's fault because we said, "Who are you coming in with?" He said, "Oh, just Chris."
This is
Chris the actor. All right.
Okay, we're here talking about a production that's on at the Logan Campbell Centre in Auckland City. If you've got time available this weekend, you might want to pencil it in. It's called When It's All Over, Will They Remember Me? And we've got the lead who's coming in to talk about how this is a story about him and his journey, and hopefully, and maybe it might be a reflection of other people's journey when it comes to suicide prevention. So tell us about the play, bro.
just the details, or
Yeah, no, well, so who's in it? Chris is in it.
Reenact it. Chris.
Do the whole thing.
Chris is in it, and how many other are in the production?
Oh, there's like 40
Wow.
to 50 of us. Where everyone plays a part.
But you two are like the main stars, right? Like it sort of focuses around two people. Is it sort of?
I'm in there, but Loma's one of the main characters, and then we've got another character. She plays the other side of the story, which is a teenage girl.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
so we talk about the insecurities that the girls go through and covering up with social media or covering up themselves from their family and from their parents. And so not only is Loma's life is highlighted here, but we also tackle the other side as well with one of the girls that plays the main lead.
Are you a director as well? I mean, you need a full team when you put on a production. I mean, because you can't. It was
Who does your
idea.
makeup?
It was.
They're pointing at each
That's a
other.
good question. We actually at the back trying to put the stuff on them.
So when you come up with the idea, you need a team behind you to make it happen. So
Well, it started off with just us and
Yeah.
our pastor. We sat down on his kitchen table and just Yeah, just
Planned
put
it
some,
out.
yeah, just wrote it out, and it was easy because we've lived it. You know,
Yeah.
it's just everything you see on stage is what I went through, and
Yeah.
the other sister, and
Is it hard going there? Like, I mean, and thank you for, before when you were being quite vulnerable, talking about your own life and your story and, where you've gone wrong and a lot of those things people are not proud to share, right? Like, I mean, they're the parts of ourselves we wish weren't there or wish we didn't do, but it's quite powerful when someone shares that or where they've been in their story. When you're acting and you're kind of going back to those places or those feelings, does that come up inside? Does that bring things up again? Like take you back to that place of where you once were?
yeah. I remember when we were talking about the play, and then who was going to play what role, and people couldn't, because they're real stories, people couldn't play their actual testimonies out, so they got other people to play their characters, and then we're giving out the parts, and then pastor's like, "Oh, you can play your part, right?" So okay, then yeah,
Bit close to home, but
it's
sure,
all right,
yeah,
I'll
okay.
just stand up on. But it's. I do remember praying, and you're like, man, God, just a bit of anxiety and being up and vulnerable, but it's helped me heal. We've
Yeah.
done the show 11 times,
Wow.
and each time it's helped me to heal.
Talking about helping you to heal, whenever we get creatives and musicians and even people like yourselves come in, we always like asking about the impact that it has on people who come to the show, or when musicians, the impact of their music has on their own personal journeys and their personal lives. You must have had some people come up to you and talk to you about the impact that your production has had on their own lives. Is there a quick story that you could share?
I remember one of our shows that we did in Australia, and I saw many people have come up, but I remember an old lady come up, and she should be like in her 70s, and she comes up and pulls me to the side, and she just starts crying, and I'm like, with our parents, and I'm just like, "You're right," and I just start rubbing her back. She's like, "I held on for something for 50 years. And like tonight, I finally let it go." And she just said, "Thank you so much." And that meant a lot. Was you think it's just for the young ones? It's we all deal with this, especially like our people and our parents, and things holding on to the past. And I know that this drama is beyond us. Yeah,
That's beautiful, bro. Thanks for sharing that. Okay, sorry, bro.
Oh, I was just going to say, right, I mean, we've talked about the low points a lot, right, and a lot of the topics that the production covers, right, but it's a hopeful thing as well, right, like there's an offer of something else too, right, like another way of like a points towards something better, points towards freedom, hope. Is that kind of the goal of the production?
Definitely.
I feel like we've only mentioned sort of the darker parts of it, but that's in there as well.
Yeah, we show that part, but then we show that the way out is through Jesus Christ. And I think that's the thing that me and Loma are very passionate about. And what really highlights it in the drama is the transformation that takes place in the drama. So we show that part, but then we also show like real life transformation of Loma and also one of the other ladies, Kayla. And so we actually put up their life on the screen. It's not something made up, it's something that they actually lived. So it shows Loma first time song leading, shows Loma preaching, it shows one of the other ladies, she's a pastor's wife now. And so it actually highlights the part that happens after when they give their life to Christ and the massive transformation. You were sharing earlier with them what God's done in your life because you...
Yeah, and that's the hope. That's the whole point of this drama is, yes, we go through stuff and everyone deals with suicide in their own way, in their upbringing or culturally, whatever it is. But Jesus is the answer. He's the answer for myself, Chris, and a lot of other people. And the same joy that we have, the same healing, everyone else can experience that same. As Jesus. Jesus is the way.
Yes and amen. How can people get a hold of tickets, bro?
They can jump on Event Finder. .co.nz, I think it is. But we have a promo code for the listeners this morning. They can jump on and just type in Life50. Life50 and grab those 50% off.
Oh, mate.
50% off.
50%
Oh,
off.
far out.
Oh,
Come
man.
on.
Yeah, that's 2 for 1.
Is that
Yeah, come on.
you dangerous territory, mate? You're going to get like 25,000 in there. No, there's only like 7 people who listen to us. Can you give us that promo again?
Life50, so Life. Oh, I can spell 50. Yeah, just check that in the promo code on Event Finder. Will they remember me?
Okay, it's called, when it's all over, will they remember me? this has been a really thanks for coming in, bro. I appreciate what you're doing. Take it over, beyond.
If you want to go into the Logan Campbell Centre, Green Lane Road, Epsom, Auckland, it's happening this Saturday, 7:30. Get there. It's R13, by the way, so kids, probably not quite appropriate, but for adults, be a real impactful thing. And as you can see, it's an issue that affects everybody, and everybody is close to this in some way. Well, they know somebody who, it's a big thing for New Zealanders, so it's something we need to talk about and deal with and push into to provide hope in that space.
Absolutely. I'm back again. I'm glad and I'm thankful that you fell. Oh, don't you do that, bro.
Chris is the only one who's not crying at this point, so Chris, you can
lying.
wrap it up.
Chris and Loma, all the best with
Thank you.
not only today but with the production. I'm glad there's joy and hope in your heart right now. Keep on keeping on, bro.
Thank you so
Again,
much.
if any of this chat, if you found that you need support in any way, shape or form, there's a whole lot of services that are available to you right now. You can actually jump into, you can text help actually to 4357. I hope there's joy in your life. Continue to be you. Take care. God bless you too.